Well, back for another Free Agent Friday. And today I've got Allison with me. Thanks for joining me, Allison.
You're welcome.
So give us your full name and, your education background.
So my name's Allison Freebern. I'm actually a recent graduate. In December, I graduated with my bachelor's in science in business information and management from Seminole State College. And then I took an extra semester to get my post-bachelor certificate in social media and e-marketing from the same institution.
Oh, nice. When you were in school, did you do any internships at all, or did you work as well?
I worked a couple of part-time jobs. So the first job that I got right before I got into college was as a dance teacher at the studio where I grew up dancing. And so even though that's not really the industry that I want to be in, it really helped me to build customer service skills, retail skills, sales skills, as well as working with people and especially children and families.
So what
Then
is your, oh, go ahead.
And then a little bit later, I got a job as corporate partnerships Gameday Staff at Orlando City Soccer Club. So that sort of helped me to get
Nice.
direct experience in the sports industry, as well as volunteering with their charity arm, the Orlando City Foundation.
Nice. I went to the foot golf thing last,
Oh,
whatever it
you
was, September,
did?
October. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Because,
actually one of the volunteers. I was helping check people in.
okay, nice. I was with the Orlando Seawolves, which was the indoor soccer team. So we had some of our players out there. It was
Yeah,
a
I
lot of fun.
remember that.
It was
That
a
was
lot
a
of fun.
fun one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So what's kind of your goal position then? I mean, you want to stay in the sports business?
Yes, ideally, I would love to go full-time with Orlando City. That's my ideal goal. So anything that would help me get experience to get to that point would be ideal.
What kind of role are you looking for?
Probably something like member services, corporate partnerships, community relations, since I have kind of experience in all three of those areas and that's play to my strengths. But I'd also be willing to work in another department if it helped me to build up to one of those positions.
Are you looking to just stay in Orlando, or are you open to other positions outside the area?
I would like to stay in Orlando ideally, since that's my hometown, that's where I grew up, and I want to be able to give back to the community where I grew up. But if something came up that was remote, since I have a lot of experience working remotely with the school and everything, I would accept that as well.
So, since you're kind of looking in the sports world, give me some of the stuff that you did with Orlando City. Your partnerships, game day staff, like what did that entail?
So we were on the activation side of corporate partnerships. So a lot of our responsibility was helping to set up and run our fan zone that takes place before all of our home games. So that's checking sponsors in, helping them set up their tents to make sure they have all their questions answered. And then when fan zone is open, we're sort of roaming through fan zone and helping sponsors with their fans and making sure the fans are having a good time. And then when the gates open, we're also handing out the free gate giveaways that our sponsors help to put together for us.
Okay. What any memorable moments while you were there? Anything that like stands out, like your favorite thing?
I think one of my favorite things was when I was working a fan zone for our women's team, the Orlando Pride, and there were these girls in the fan zone that were making posters for their favorite players so that the players would sign the posters. And so I went over, I sat down next to them, and I helped them like learn how to spell the players' names and help them figure out what number they were. And then I said, hey, do you guys mind if I help you draw the Orlando Pride logo on your poster? And then I like, oh my gosh, really? They were so excited. And I think that really plays into why I really wanted to work in sports, because making people happy, making them smile like that, sometimes you don't know what kind of day they're having before they meet you, and you can sort of turn their whole day around. So that's what I
Very
really
rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very. I love that aspect of it too. Love it. What skills would you bring to your ideal job?
Like I said before, my work experience, I bring a lot of working with families and children, working with people, and the big thing for me is I like to take initiatives. So that's sort of how I push myself to challenge myself and create new challenges. And so taking initiative is one of the biggest skills that I value and that I
I know this one's always a tough one, but like on the flip side, what's a weakness that you have?
Probably sometimes I can be a bit stubborn. So sometimes that's a good thing though, because it's
Yeah.
sort of, if you're stubborn about something, then it helps you to sort of like push for it. So if you have an idea that you're really stubborn about, it can help you sort of figure out how to push for it and sort of present it to people.
Yep.
But I also feel like sports has helped me to be a little less stubborn because of the fast-paced environment and things are changing all the time. So I really think that that has helped me learn to be more flexible.
Very good. What's the main reason you want to stay in sports? I think, I mean, you
Um,
said part of it, but is that anything else besides, the rewarding aspect of working with, people?
I also think that with sports being such a fast-paced environment, it allows you to sort of meet lots of different people. So during my time with Orlando City, I've met lots of different like athletes and corporate C-level executives and TV personalities and local politicians too. So I feel like with working in sports, you sort of get to network and meet all sorts of amazing and unique people.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always changing, like you said. So very high and fast paced. Um, love it. Love it. Um, how would you define success?
I think that success for me would have to be the impact that you have on other people, because I really place an important value on giving back to people and having a positive influence on them. And so I think that if I can inspire somebody or make their day or make them smile, then that's how I consider myself to be most successful.
Now, you said you're in Orlando. Is that where you grew up for the most part?
Yes, I am a Florida native. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, and then when I was about 3 or 4, we moved to the Central Florida area, and I've been in Orlando ever since.
So how are all your, sports teams, is your NBA team the Magic and Orlando
Yeah.
City? How about
Um, well, the Magic, I know they made the playoffs recently. Orlando still has yet to make the playoffs, but I'm staying hopeful that we will one day. And that is my goal, is to be on the full-time staff by the time we actually win our first championship. So
oh, that would be
I'm
great.
keeping my fingers crossed and trying to stay positive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's strange how things can change even on the team side. Like one year they might, not make the playoffs. Next year might go the whole way. So
Yeah, I know we just got a new head coach this year at Orlando City, and he seems to be really tough on the players, but I think that would be a good thing for them. So maybe this will be the year.
yeah. Did you play soccer, or is that just kind of like a passion that you have?
I prefer watching it as a fan. I think that because when I tried to kick around a ball when I was younger, I would miss half the time. So I don't really think that playing soccer is more of my strength, is watching soccer and being a fan of
Did
it.
you at the foot golf thing? Did you get to participate at all, or were you having to work the whole time?
I was a volunteer, so I didn't really get to actually kick the ball around or
Okay, all right.
anything, but I think that may have been a good thing.
I'll tell you what, it was fun, and it's definitely a lot harder than it looks. My leg was actually tired
Yeah,
from
I
from that,
imagine.
so it was fun. So, would separate you from somebody else when somebody's kind of looking through people for a position? What will stand out about you?
I think my passion for the industry, because the industry really motivates me to work with people and have a positive impact on them. And so I think my passion also to learn about the industry, to keep reading, keep watching, and also to keep honing my skills in volunteer work and working part-time and things like that.
How about I always like this. It's just like a fun fact about yourself. It's always good to let people get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So back in February, I was volunteering for the foundation at one of their charity events. And it's this big gala where everybody dresses up all nice, and there's a dance floor, and there's a buffet of food. And so it was towards the end of the night when all the players and everybody were on the dance floor together, and the Cupid Shuffle comes on. And one of our players, Benjamin Sells, he just stares at me like a deer in the headlights, like he doesn't know what's going on. And so I say, hey, do you need some help? And he says, yes, please, I don't know this song. And so I jumped in and I taught him the Cupid Shuffle. I did the whole dance with him and everything. And I
Oh,
really
wow.
appreciate, he was a really quick learner, and he's like really positive guy too. He's always has a smile on his face. And so I think that's pretty interesting that I'm the only person in the world right now who gets to say they taught Benji Michelle the Cupid
So
Shuffle.
next time when you see him do it, you could be like, hey, I
I taught
taught
you.
him
You
that.
better do it right this time.
Better represent well.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I mean, anything else that you want to, add about, your background or self for everyone that's listening?
Well, in addition to the events I do with the Orlando City Foundation, I also worked with them on my senior capstone project for my business degree. And so part of that was helping them to discover a new opportunity or solve a problem they had. So for my group project, I actually led my whole team to create a plan for the foundation that allowed them to expand into Seminole County. They partnered with a local community center in Sanford. That was part of the plan I created for them. And back in February, before everything shut down, they actually had their first soccer programming camp at that community center. So
Oh,
that was sort of
nice.
something that became a plan that I came up with that became successful.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome to see. I think there's so much opportunity there in Central Florida, having lived there and been to Orlando City and
Yeah,
Orlando
a lot of
Pride
people are
games.
coming to Orlando. It's always growing.
Oh, it's crazy the
Yeah.
amount of growth, but that's going to be good for the team, I think. So I'm
Yes.
excited for the MLS to get back to it, and I want to thank you for joining me today. I know it was brief, but hopefully it'll help, get you out in the spotlight with some of these potential employers as people are starting to hire again.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on today. I had such a good time.